If you celebrate the new year and you do the countdown, and your mind, your energy, and your emotions is heavily invested in that specific time period, you are anchoring yourself in that time space continuum. You are dropping an anchor. Think about maritime law and how everything in our world that's ruled by the government and money and contracts. Think about the Black's Law Dictionary and what things really mean. So when you drop an anchor, you're setting your dock up to function within the 3D matrix realm, which is failing. It's falling apart. In order for you to shift timelines, you must shift out of the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar is not based on accurate mathematical representation of time and space. It was used to create a race of slaves that work and oppression. It's all about productivity, capitalism. That's what it was created to do. It was created to make money off of people, attain wealth and power off of other people's life force energy. So when we're shifting timelines, that means what are you choosing to be a part of your experience? I don't celebrate New Year's per se, not during this time of the year because it's not the organic timeline. It is an artificial generated timeline within the simulation. Ever since I stopped celebrating, there have been a lot of changes within me. 2019 was the last year that I celebrated the Gregorian calendar's new year. A great example of this would be other calendars, the Mayan calendar, the Ethiopian calendar, even the calendar that China uses. These calendars take into consideration the lunar phases. So when you take into consideration that this planet is a prison planet, well, you can't imprison souls unless you are controlling time. And this is the reason that time is reset and it's sent backwards or forwards. That was another level of time manipulation. The Gregorian calendar, which was created for the purpose of wages, keep this in mind. A lot of people and younger generations are rebelling against working 40 hours a week from 9 to 5, doing things that they do not love, things that make them miserable. And so, as we see this shift happening from generation to generation, we're pulling away from a timeline that was created for the purpose of oppression and domination and supremacy of certain groups who are aware of these things. According to the Mayan calendar, the new year begins when Sirius rises to its highest point. Sirius is the spiritual sun, just as our sun is the solar sun that brings life to the planet. Sirius is the sun of spirituality that brings life to spirit. Pretty much most all of indigenous cultures knew this and used this information. So you can't get off the prison planet and you can't get out of the timeline until you disconnect, detach, unplug from the matrix in which that measurement of time moves. The very first time I stopped doing countdowns and acknowledging that as the new year, it felt strange to me. I almost felt like I was doing something wrong. I almost felt like I was going to get left behind some way. Like, I'm supposed to be doing this because everybody else is doing this and I've always done this, so I have to do this. So I'm going to read something to you to help solidify what I'm saying about being careful about what you invest your energy and time into, because what you invest your attention, energy, and time into is what you're going to attract to you. And if you notice, this time of the year, A lot of people get excited and hyped up about the year and create resolutions, and when they don't follow through with them, they feel disappointed in themselves. And when you're disappointed, you lack confidence in yourself, and you feel like you let yourself down, and it's a form of self-sabotage. It's a form of self-abandonment. So check this out. Dr. Jose Arguelles, the Valum Votan discovery of the prophecy based on the Mayan calendar, points out that the final collapse of the technosphere is also the final war between blood, which is biology, and money, which is currency. This translates as the harvesting of life force, or biological currency. At this time, we are called upon to recognize the errors of the past which have led to destruction and oppression, and to correct these errors by taking back our power. This involves a collective shift inward rather than outward. Every 28 days of the 13 moons, we use our love and telepathic focus to clear these ancient traumas. A main goal of the Telectonin prophecy is to transform Babylon planet. We have been programmed to be serious. Though we are serious beings, SIRIUS, we are here to learn to transform density into bliss, laughter, and learn to lighten our hearts. Teachers, police, and many others like church, women who usher in the church, they were very serious about that. And being overly serious is a form of psychological warfare where we cannot lighten our hearts and lighten our loads. The 1260 frequency versus the 1320 frequency is what generates trauma. Okay? So 1260 is the Gregorian calendar. 1360 is not an artificial time. It is the organic time. I've been teaching about this for many years now. So from a higher consciousness perspective, those of us who resonate as being star seeds, 1260 refers to a collective belief system frequency, 12 months in the calendar, 60-minute hours. But 1320 is 13 moons per year. Okay, so this is a completely different way of acknowledging time. And the way that you acknowledge time determines the illusions or the simulation that you experience. The imprisonment on the planet was accomplished by altering the time to an artificial time frequency. And so this dream spell is being destroyed right now. Well, what does this calendar being manipulated do? Well, this is what it does. This 1260 frequency has infiltrated every institution, including science, politics, medicine, religious institutions, and celebrity culture. It breeds on all that is unnatural: war, taxes, inequality, greed, poverty, genetically modified food, destruction of nature, materialism, and abuse of all types. The end game of this 1260 frequency cult is to merge humans with machines. And we even read about this in the book of Revelations, and it talks about 42 months, which is 1260 days, which is 1260 frequency. So, this is what I talk about, reading the Bible in an esoteric way versus an exoteric way. So with this 1260 frequency, trauma is being used, and this is what keeps us from accelerating into becoming the evolved versions of ourselves that's based in love and no longer ruled by fear. So this 1260 energy holds karma. So when you start to rebel against the time frequency and you withdraw your energy and you don't focus on the programs of the 3D matrix, that's when your life can really start to change and be more of a reflection of the love that you're cultivating within yourself. So I hope that I made this make sense. I wanted to try to simplify this as much as I possibly could. If you're watching this and you've already been celebrating and doing the countdown, that's okay. You can try again next year. But the new year is when Sirius rises to its highest point. All right.